What's going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else is
Chunky! I didn't even say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great night so far. I've had a long day, guys. Not gonna lie to you, I'm a little tired, but show must go on. I've got a good show tonight. As you guys know, I was in Judge Simpson's courtroom today. I've got a lot to talk about with that, but I'm going to talk about it throughout the video. I have all three of the TikToker squatter case clips to share tonight. I'm playing it this way for those of you who haven't seen the first two. So, we'll just play all three of them so we all get a good grasp of the case from beginning to end. So, sound good? Sound good? So yes, I will talk about the trip once part 3 happens, but let's just get settled in and watch the first two parts first. All right. You guys ready? I am. Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kickback flips. Let's go.
Lepic versus Andrew Elliott. And, well, Jared Lepic and Jordan Lepic.
I also should say I cut these from my own videos, so I cut out my commentary. So there might be some weird edits throughout this, just so you guys know.
Versus Andrew Elliott and Traversia. Is it Borrell?
Traversia Borrell.
Borrell. I got it. Okay. And I think I have okay. So plaintiff, how much are you claiming the defendants owe?
We are asking for $21,285. On top of that, we would like to demand for possession and a money judgment. For
How much are you requesting in rent?
$21,285.
Unacceptable. 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 Not acceptable.
How much is monthly rent?
$5,000 with a late fee of $1,000 not paid after the first, $2,000 late fee not paid after the 7th.
Okay, I can tell you right now, those late fees are illegal. So how much?
That is it. That is in our lease. So this was.
I understand. I understand it's in your lease. I'm trying to let you know as gently as I can right now that I'm not enforcing that late fee.
Okay. So, in Your Honor, I totally understand. This was not actually intended to be a lease. They had purchased the home, and the house sale fell through 2 days before we decided, or before we went into closing, and they had asked to move in. We said, if you pay the mortgage, we drew up a lease based off of them purchasing the home, and this is where we're at. So what happened is then they just stopped paying, and now
how much do they owe in rent?
So it was a $5,000 for 4 months. So that would be a total of $20,000.
And Your Honor, we're asking that February be paid since our lease was a 4-month term, and they have not paid a single payment so far.
And we also missed out on listing the home again because they have refused to not leave.
We've gotten screenshots of proof of funds. We've also been told that ACH has been sent. We received a tracking number at one point that actually never registered with the U.S. Postal Service. And so there's been a lot of we're going to pay, and we have yet to receive anything.
Okay, so I can do nothing with February because February's not due. That's the first thing.
If they're still by then, how does that work?
There
If
won't
what?
be. We're leaving. We'll be out by the 1st.
Okay, you say you'll be out by the 1st?
Correct, yes.
How come not by next week then, if you're leaving?
I was told in text messages from Jared Lepic that we have until we can finish out the month.
You'll be out by the 30th? You'll be out by the 31st?
Right.
And you will give them keys?
I hope I can arrange that, yes.
All right, so here's what we'll do, because there are two issues here. One is going to be the money, one is going to be possession.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to adjourn this out to the 31st, 2025 at 12 p.m. That will be in person in the court. I'm going to expect that if you have not surrendered the keys, that you will be in court and in a position to surrender keys to the Lepics at that point.
Okay.
Then we'll look at what money's there, because then that doesn't run, and we'll figure out what's owed and how that's going to be paid.
I will say we're moving to Seattle, Washington. I will make plans to appear in court in person, but depending on what our living situation is, then it might complicate my ability to show in person. Is there any recourse?
Ma'am, you need to get them the keys.
Oh, I can easily get them the keys regardless.
Okay.
So
They
we are
need the
located-
keys.
It'll be before the court.
Before what?
Before the court that is being adjourned.
Okay. And then I may permit you to appear via Zoom if you're out of state,
Okay,
but they need their keys.
of course. Thank you.
Sir, we are also located out of state. We're currently living in North Carolina.
I'm sorry to hear that, but no, I'm kidding. I'm just an old Maryland guy that doesn't like North Carolina, but I really do. It's actually a nice place. Okay, so everybody's out of state. So, ma'am, how are you going to get the keys to them?
They had someone come and give me a new key when they locked me out of the property. There was an illegal lockout that I was subject to. I've got one key that I can return.
All right, I want the key returned.
I can do that.
And then once the key's returned, then both parties may appear via Zoom on the 31st, and then we can figure out the rest of this.
That sounds great.
But I want them to have possession
Of the key.
of the key, which will give them possession of the premises.
Right. Okay, thank you.
All right?
Yeah, we have a manager that they can get the key to.
All right, that's fine. Then everybody can appear via Zoom. So I'll see everybody on the 31st at 12 noon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Court calls the case.
All right. Fast forward, I don't know, I guess a week. Now, this is the information we have so far. The Miss Borrell, is it Borrell or Borrelli? She says Borrelli. On all the court documents, it says Borrell. I don't know which one it is. So I'm just going to say Borrell because that's what's on the court documents. She attempted to buy the house. It did not go through. It fell through for whatever reason. We don't know why. At least I don't. It was never made clear to me. I have a couple assumptions though. So the landlords or the homeowners allowed them to lease the property for 3 months. So I'm guessing that was, hey, you guys were already planning on moving in, bank backed out. We'll sign this lease for 3 months. A 3-month lease, $5,000 a month. Haven't paid 1 cent of that. Yeah, so far so good, right? Here's a problem though. Judge Simpson said during that first hearing that the late fees were not legal, that they were too high. There's no way he's gonna allow them to collect on those. That's important because Ms. Borrell brings that up in this hearing, and I guess that's her crutch to stand on. You know what? Let's just go with part 2.
The people are Jared Lepic versus Andrew Elliott.
Hello, Your Honor. I'm Jordan Lepic. I'm also on this case. Jared Lepic,
Yes.
unfortunately, was diagnosed with influenza A this morning, so he has his Zoom going and can mic in if need be, but he's got very little of a voice left at this point.
Okay. All right. And yes, I do see him signed in. All right. Andrew Elliott or Traversia, is it Borrell?
Traversia Borrelli.
Okay, sorry.
That's
All right. Okay, what are we doing on this case?
Zach, did she post anything today? I haven't looked since I've been home. I got home, I don't know, about 5:30. Put this video together and talked to Heather for a little bit, and then now I'm here for the live. So I did not look up if she posted a video today.
Last week, sir, you had asked that they be out of the house before the hearing today. And as of right now, they're still moving stuff out of the property. There are still people on property, including a couple of unauthorized additional roommates that weren't included in the lease. And we have yet to get in contact with Mr. Elliott. He is the named person on our lease. So we would just like to see what his status is. We haven't heard from him since the 7th. And the last thing we received from him in writing was an email admitting to the debt owed and the wrongdoing on his part, stating that he can provide the court of a copy with this email. In his own words, he states, "We will obviously not refute what you are owed. We have no intention to. We would honor the court decision of the debt, which would additionally include legal fees. Given our contract is under the laws of Michigan, there is very little that can be garnished as the bulk of my earnings are earned as independent contractor." In this email, he proposed a payment plan that we were uncomfortable with agreeing to because he's offered us specific payment arrangements over the last.
Can I stop you?
All right, before Judge Simpson talks, I see this as a giant red flag. When you're getting a written letter or a text or an email, however she said she received the correspondence from the partner, from Ms. Borrell's partner, she received this correspondence in writing, already saying that you can't garnish us because we're independent contractors. So he's saying we. So he admitted to being an independent contractor. That is very important, which does not get brought up again, but it's a point that I'm going to make coming up in part 3. And Adam, yes, I will talk about the TikTok video she put in, she released after this part. So I will definitely bring that up because, yeah, that's why I titled this video "Ignorance Cost Her This Case," because it absolutely did.
Please.
Absolutely.
All right. How much are you claiming is owed?
So as of right now, he owes $15,000 plus court costs of $234.43. If I may, could I give you like 90 seconds of backstory, sir?
Not really.
Okay.
Your Honor,
I don't know that I'm necessarily going to need it.
Okay.
Ma'am, are you moving out?
Yes, we've returned the key. I have a couple of friends currently helping me move out the remaining things. I'm actually at the U-Haul Center right now, and they are getting the rest of the items out presently under the supervision of the land manager.
Okay. So, and ma'am, are you disputing the amount they're claiming is owed?
I am.
You are?
Yes, I am. We
Okay.
owe.
How much do you think you owe?
So we owe December and January. That's $10,000. We paid a $1,000 late fee in November and a $2,000 late fee in September and October. We believe that these should be subtracted from the total owed due to illegality of those fees. Also, we were subjected.
Yeah. So, oops, sorry. I told you I edited my comments out. I apparently missed that one. That's a comment I made about 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to fast forward it a little bit. But before I do that, Big N, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. I am covering the case of Miss Borrell right now. This is part 2. I covered part 1 at the start of the video. This is part 2. I've got part 3. I was also in court today for part 3, so I've got some additional information to share when we get to that point. But let me fast forward this. I thought, like I said, I thought I cut out all my moments. So now Miss Borrell is using, and I'm calling her Miss Borrellian 2 weeks ago. So this is just total rent right now. We're not talking about deductions, just total rent. So you're saying that you owe 10. All right. I thought I was almost done yapping. Man, I talk a lot, don't I? The owners say they say 3 months. I don't know, but that there's a difference there. That's all you had to say.
How much is monthly rent?
Your Honor,
5,000.
monthly rent is $5,000 a month. This is a 4,000 square foot house that we were under contract for them to purchase, and we have done a series of short-term leases as they were waiting on the state.
Okay. And then back, please. Thing. Is she right about? She just listed off, I think, $4,000 of late fees that they paid.
No, sir, that is incorrect. Those were from the previous lease. See, at first we did a 60-day lease, and then we extended that once their house was not sold. So we have 2 prior leases to this short-term lease, and we only enforce late fees on one of the months under those leases. And I can submit documentation of all this, sir.
So can I.
All right.
I do have claims that ACHs were sent that were never received to my account, sir, as well as proof of funds that I received in December and no payment was made out of that. The last communication I had about a payment arrangement was on December 13th, and I was informed by Mr. Elliott that day that his wife had sent an ACH. However,
Okay, look, folks. Oh, ma'am.
Yes.
Here's what's going to happen. What date are you going to be out of the premises?
We're already out.
Your stuff
You're
is
already
still
out.
Right.
Your stuff-
They're in
And
the
they
pro-
have surrendered the
it's in the
keys?
yes, and it's in the process of being removed as we speak. So we are out. It'll be another hour or 2, I think, before it's all of our stuff is gone.
All right, so this isn't necessarily on the tenant, on Miss Borrell, because she had until today to move out. They didn't really, she had till the end of the month to move out, which is the day that this hearing happened, which was the 31st. So the landlord kind of snapping at her for not being out by the time this hearing started. I don't know if that's not really going to work. Judge Simpson is going to say here in a minute, you've got, I don't know, X amount of hours left. Wixom, they do get an attorney for today's hearing, and I'm about to talk about that here shortly.
So then the only issue is what's owed.
Right. I also want to bring up, if I may, Your Honor, we were subjected to a wrongful lockout, so we are due 3 times damages of the $150 for a locksmith as outlined in Michigan's anti-lockout statute, totaling $450, which I also have evidence of.
Okay. All right,
Your
look,
Honor.
folks.
Your Honor, I'm
Yes.
in my house because they failed to pay rent. I have 6 children. These people make $350,000 a year is what they claimed on the rental application. I'm going to lose health insurance tomorrow, and my house is going into a foreclosure period as of tomorrow is 90 days late. They have money. They had subletters or whoever living with them, and I don't know if they were running a homeless shelter, if they were pocketing the rent that their roommates paid. They've
No.
just been sitting in my house, sir.
This is incorrect.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Possession has been granted. There are 2 parts to the case. Possession's been granted or surrendered to the plaintiff. So possession is not.
Sorry.
Pardon?
There are still people at the house. One of them had a residence established there, apparently. They're still at the house, and unfortunately, our property manager expired at noon today, as it is the last day of the month. So any clean out of anything left behind, I'm going to have to go assess for any damages left on my own next week.
All right. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. They've surrendered possession of the unit. Ma'am, to your knowledge, are there people in the premises?
Yes, there
Ms.
is.
Borrell, are there people still in the premises?
I don't know. I would have to text them. I don't know if they're on the premises presently, but we were told that we could get the remainder of the items out. So they would be doing that if they are not presently at the U-Haul Center where I am now. I'm
Okay,
just
so
using
here's
my
what I'm
phone
going
to
to
do
do.
this.
Possession to the premises has been surrendered. Ma'am, as of, given everything that I'm hearing, your management contract expires, what, at midnight tonight? Is that the deal, or?
Yeah, yes. And we can't afford to pay
All
a
right.
property manager anymore.
Hang on. I hear you. I'm just trying to, because you're in North Carolina, right?
Yes, sir. But I will have to make
Okay.
a trip up to North Carolina to assess anything.
I know. I'm just, I guess you're out of state. You've got a property manager here that won't be the property manager tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So what? I should let you guys talk and then I'll just go back and then come back out. Because either you're going to listen to me or not. Possession's been surrendered. I'm going to give the authority, I'm going to grant to the plaintiff the authority to prevent waste under 4.201I, that you may lock and secure the premises effective 3 o'clock today. The reason I'm doing that is so that you can get your property manager, go over there. You can order a locksmith. You can change the locks at 3 p.m. today. Whatever else needs to get out, if you don't get it out by that time, you said you surrendered, you're giving them the keys, they giving you grace to get some of the stuff out. If it's not out, not out.
That's
But the
perfectly fine, Your
premises
Honor.
will be locked.
Thank you.
Then the issue regarding the money is going to have to be done. Now, I might as well, because the parties don't seem to agree, set this matter for trial. You have to come up next week. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so trying to time this, if you come up, how long are you going to be up here?
Very short amount of time, sir, as I have children in North Carolina in school. So a day.
Okay.
Enough.
So if I I was just going to set this for a trial. So I can set a trial date, but I'm going to need the parties in person because apparently there's going to be a lot of documentation. So I'm trying to set it. So here's what I'll do. Because we're really talking about the money, but we got to get the premises secured first. So we've dealt with that. What's my date, March? The 4th? The 11th? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a non-jury trial as to the money issues for March 11th, 2025 at 9 a.m. That's in person. So I've tried to set that, ma'am, I tried to set it out far enough so that you could make arrangements or do what needs to be done to come up. We'll hear it that day. So if it has to be a one-day trip, it's a one-day trip. But I've just tried to put it out to, well, I think you get what I'm saying. Okay?
Absolutely.
But I'm allowing you to secure the premises. You're going to come up here, check on it. That way you can assess what damages or other things there may be there. Bring ledgers, all other documentation you want the court to look at on March 11th, and then we'll hear your case. Okay?
Your Honor, might I ask one question?
Sure.
Rather than pushing it out, I can make arrangements. I will make it work. Like I said, we're actually going into a 90-day foreclosure period tomorrow. And so time is kind of of essence.
Got it. Then the best I could do is the 18th. What day? Yeah. The best I could then do is February 18th. I could push it up to that day. Will that
Okay.
be better for you?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
So non-jury trial in this matter then will be set for February 18th, 2025, 9 a.m. Okay?
And one more question. Will Mr. Lepic have to appear as well, or will me be appearing sufficient just because he can't afford time off of work right now?
Well, he might want to have himself, if you're here, he may want to have himself. I will allow understanding childcare, work, those things. I would allow him to appear via Zoom.
Thank you. And as far as
so
Mr.
that
Elliott,
he's present, but you will have to be here in person.
understood. And Mr. Elliott?
He needs to appear. If he doesn't appear, then I do what I got to do.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor,
Thank you.
may I ask a question?
Sure.
My partner might not be able to get off work either, but I can show up. Is that a problem?
I will give you the same. Okay. I will give you the same opportunities that I give the other side in fairness. So you may appear, but he would have to be available via Zoom.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, now we're moving into today. Before I do that, I do want to say, remember in part one when I said, remember how Miss Borrell said we are both, no, not Miss Borrell didn't say that. The letter from the partner said we are both private contractors. You can't garnish us. If he's not a private contractor, whatever words are hard. You know what word I'm trying to say. He works for himself. He can't get off work. He works for himself and can't get off work. Grim, good to see you, my friend. Guess who was sitting next to me? Grim was sitting next to me. It was so nice to meet you today, bud. Also, Grim was nice enough to swap me seats. You couldn't see me on YouTube from where I was sitting, so Grim's like, swap seats, so I can see you. I'm like, all right. Grim, you are awesome. It was so much fun hanging out with you today. All right. Now we're moving on to today's hearing. Now, remember, I was going to kind of catch you guys up to speed. Now, about a week ago, Ms. Borrell put out a TikTok, and it simply showed a one line from paperwork from the court saying your case was dismissed, or something along the lines as the case was dismissed, like towards you. Not the entire case, just her part of it. Her name was dismissed from the case. This is very important because the landlords finally hired an attorney. This was the smartest thing they could have done. So they hired an attorney. The attorney dismissed her from the case because the lease was never under Miss Borrell's name. The lease was under the partner's name, or the so-called partner's name. Is probably the same person, but Miss Borrell was on the lawsuit simply because she had possession of the home. So she was put on the lawsuit, so they were both sued. Now that the landlords got possession of the home back, they dismissed the case for Miss Borrell. Therefore, she can't say a one word in court. She can't talk. She can't talk for her partner. It does not work that way. And the attorney was very good to point this out to the judge. And yeah, hold on. I'll bring that up in this is in two parts. Part 3 is actually in two parts because they split. Oh, you know what? I'm too excited. I'm forgetting shout outs. Crazy Writer. I know you sent this 15 minutes ago. I do apologize for the delay, but thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. You are awesome. Welcome to the 5 new members. Thank you so much, Crazy Writer. Sobs, Crimes, and Good Times. I love saying your name, man. Thank you for the gifted membership. Welcome to the new member. Thank you so much, Solve Crimes and Good Times. And Amanda Booberry for 13 months. Thank you so much, Amanda Booberry. I do appreciate it. You are awesome. Okay. Yes, I was here in this hearing with Graham. I already said that. You're gonna see my ugly mug wearing a bright ass red shirt in the front row, right next to Grim. Grim was the handsome one at court today. Okay, let's go.
Jared Lepic.
Oh, I had one more thing to say about the TikTok she put out. So she put out the one line from the paperwork, blurred everything else out, just the one line. But the caption of it was something about the landlord dismissed this because they're afraid of the receipts. Again, this is why I say the ignorance cost her this case, because she thought she won. Instead of, trying to figure out what's going on, she just like, oh, they dismissed it. That means I win. No, no, you're about to get screwed, little lady.
Versus Andrew Elliott.
Yes, I'm here.
I'll comment on that in a second. Because I actually talked to the attorney. This guy standing in the podium, I talked to him.
And
after the case was over, I got his attention and we walked outside and I spoke to him for a few minutes. So I got some behind the scenes details, but also he confirmed a lot of my suspicions. So does he exist? That's still up in the air. I'm not going to say he absolutely does not, because for one reason, but it's still a possibility.
are Elliott and Borrell. Are they here?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Elliott's.
Why aren't they here?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Ms. Borrell was dismissed. She's not a party and she's not a lawyer.
Your Honor, if I may.
Go ahead.
I have evidence. I didn't know whether I was still allowed to appear in person as a result of the notice to have me dismissed. My partner is not able to get off work, but I have evidence for the court in defense of
I
my
can't,
partner.
ma'am. I see now the notice of dismissal. You've been dismissed from the case. He's not here. He needs to be here.
Understood. I've been messaging with my partner to see if they can do something to make it. On the meantime, I do have evidence that I have been given that I can put forward.
He needs to be here.
Okay.
If not, I'm going to default him because he needs to be here.
Understood.
When is he going to get here?
I don't know. Again, my partner is in the middle of work, doing everything that can be done to be present.
It's to be fair to each side. I give him 20 minutes. He's got to be here. If not, I'm defaulting him. Will that work for you, Mr. Lloyd?
20 minutes it is, Your Honor.
All right.
It'll be 10:15 our time.
Okay, that works. Lepic versus.
Jenna, I don't know. I can tell you that I rarely ever say Heather's name when I'm talking to her. Yeah, but I guess if I'm talking to you guys, I say Heather. Yeah, that is weird. You're right. It's weird. Okay. Did I have something to say? I don't know. Jedi threw me off. So we'll just play this.
This is Andrew Elliott.
Yes, here.
That's Mr. Lepic, right?
Yes.
On behalf of
Andrew Elliott. No response. Would you like to take a default? I gave you. All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing?
All right, they defaulted him. He did not show up. And my favorite part of this is they didn't even let Miss Borrell back onto the screen. They didn't even let her. She has no part of this case. Didn't even let her on the screen. So she's just sitting there waiting in the breakout room or wherever they keep people on mute without their cameras on. So yeah, good for Judge Simpson on that. He's like, nope, we're not even going to play your game.
Nothing but the truth, self you got.
I do.
Go ahead, your claims.
Your Honor, there's doing right now the amount of 15,000. There is active water bill that hasn't been paid in the amount of 584. There is a question, Your Honor, about late payment charges, and if you want, I can address those. The court had commented on in the last hearing, and because of the amount.
Yes. And they were rather large.
Might I make a pitch?
Certainly.
Your Honor, what's going on in this case, I agree, as a purely landlord-tenant case, the amount of the late payment penalties is large. But in the context of the sale of the real property based out of earnest money and late performance of a purchase agreement, the amount is perfectly normal. I mean, I'm told that this was a $700,000 home being sold normally 1% or 2% of earnest money, and so in terms of a good faith attempt.
Yeah, I agree with this, guys. I think we're past it now. We don't have to keep talking about it in the chat. I've been ignoring it for a reason. It's because it's not important. Her actions are what's important, not what I don't know, nothing else.
To establish a number that could reflect the consequences of the default. I think the late payment charge is large, but not unconscionable. I don't know what the standard of code.
I think it is. Well, I would say that the late fees are unconscionable.
Sparkle, I've got a red shirt, a black tie, and a black coat. That's what I have on. So not dark gray. My black coat isn't. It's like an ashy type black though. It's not jet black. So that might be what you're seeing.
And also, the late fees can't be liquidated damages. In the scenario you put up, they could be in a certain respect. In this instance, the late fees have to be related to the landlord's ability to collect rent in some reasonable amount. So I would not allow them. If you want a hearing on that, you show it to me, then.
I see it a different way. In the context, I think I am less shocked because
it's her name. I actually looked it up to make sure I spelled it correctly, so it's in the title. Now she actually adds an I to the end of her name for her TikTok though. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to promote it, but if you guys want to go watch it, that's all on you. But yeah, just add the I to the last name and you'll be able to find it.
2% would be a typical earnest money deposit. This is less than that. But in the context of monthly rent payments, I'm not going to make that argument. Your Honor, there is now, we have an not earnest money, a security deposit that I want to be applied. I've got damages of $15,584. We'd like to apply the security deposit of $8,550.
All right, there you go. So for everyone saying, how did the landlord's let her move in? She paid $8,550 as a security deposit for 3 months, which might be right for a house that size. But my question is, how did she do $5,500 in damage to a house in 3 months? How? I don't. She didn't care at all, or she started destroying it when they were moving because she was mad. Maybe, I don't know.
And what we'd like is a judgment $7,034. I don't have my costs.
$7,034.60.
Now that's the net judgment.
After application of the
After application, and I have a judgment for the.
So here's what I would do. I would take your total, make it clear under the further orders provision that the court is permitting this security deposit to be deducted since they vacated the premises, so that the full judgment is actually the full amount, and then the security deposit being deducted, so that we don't have, because I think there's going to be a problem if we do it the other way.
I have prepared a form. If you can see, let me fill it out. I'll prepare it. I'll offer to the court. And I've got it right.
All right. And your court cost in this case, I have.
Actually, this is a perfect segue into how I was going to finish the night tonight. After I left Judge Simpson's courtroom, I went to say hi to Judge Slavin for just a few minutes, right before his afternoon docket. And as I was sitting there, he had a bench warrant that he called first. So he called the bench warrant, and I think I was texting Heather. I was sitting there I was only like half paying attention to Judge at this moment. And what did Judge say? He said, now calling the felony matter of the state of Michigan versus Colin Crowell. So I instantly looked up. I'm like, what? So I stood up and I'm like, wait. He said, come up to the podium, sir. So I walk up to the podium and he said, do you understand what you were charged with? And of course, me and my smart mouth, I just was like, yeah. I didn't realize what I just did to your bathroom was a felony. And it was just a funny way to, introduce the rest of the people in court to the fact that we were friends. It was funny. Everyone laughed. But that was a good segue into that joke. Thank you, Mr. Beeps.
130. I don't.
Process, so we go and we got 75.
I have the process serving. I have a 0 service fee on both. I have no service fee. Okay.
So that would give us 205, I believe.
Yes, 205.
I will present more.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That's actually it, guys. That's the end of the case. I was just kind of yapping at the end. The attorney was just kind of going over the details. The security deposit, they're getting $5,500 back because there's no one to contest it. So they're getting $5,500 out of the security deposit for damages. So that leaves $3,000. So I don't know what that makes the judgment. 12,000 something, I think. Not entirely sure. There might be some other things in there. I don't know. But she got defaulted. Well, not she. Technically, he did. Now this leads up to the point where I followed the attorney outside, and I talked to him for a few minutes. Now, this is the question I asked him because I told him I only had one question for him, and he agreed to answer one question. So I said, was it a legal strategy to dismiss her from the case? So because you knew he wouldn't show up because the rumors are he doesn't exist. And that's when he said kind of what I said earlier. No, we dismissed her so she wouldn't talk. She had no right to be there. So that's why we dismissed her from the case, because she would have wanted to make it a big show. It would have taken a half hour, and we didn't want that. We didn't need it. Legally she's in the wrong. We don't need to hear from her. So that's it. And then he addressed the fact that he doesn't exist. He said that his research person, whoever he has on his team that researches, said that the only thing that he could find on the guy, I can't remember the guy's name now, is a marriage certificate with both of them, Miss Borrell and him, out of the state of Indiana. The only thing that he could find on this guy. So he kind of said the same thing I said. It seems sketchy. Everything that they're doing seems sketchy, that he doesn't exist. But there's a marriage certificate in both their names. So who knows? Who knows at this point? All right. You guys want to watch one more? We can watch one more. I was actually going to call tonight because I've been up since 3 a.m. But I've got another clip, and I don't know. We're having a good time, right? You guys want to watch something else? That's kind of what everyone's been saying, that it's her. She made this person up. But I mean, can you forge a marriage certificate? I mean, probably you can forge passports. I'm sure you can forge marriage certificates, or just find and pay off someone who is what's the word, that you can marry people. I don't know how that works. Maybe she did that. Who knows? Or she just had one of her friends take a test online and then say that they marry those people. I don't know. I've never married anybody. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to something else. This is something random that I was waiting to play, and I think it's perfect. Perfect place to put it. Of course, my intros, outros on it, but we'll skip ahead. All right, you guys are awesome. Hold on. Yeah, I just flew right by that. I'm skipping all your guys' questions. Yeah, he never showed up. Judge gave him 20 minutes, which ended up being almost an hour. So he called a couple other cases beforehand. It was almost an hour. He didn't show up. So he was defaulted. And because they're, I guess, married, good luck finding a place. You have a $13,000 judgment against you. Good job. That's going to look awesome on your record when you're trying to find another place to live. No one's going to rent to you anymore. So you better get used to hanging out in front of those storage lockers. You're going to be there a lot. Oh, it's a mess. And I think that ended exactly how it should have. Hopefully the landlords can figure out some way to get that money. That's going to be the hard part. The easy part's done. Now it's just collecting the money. So hopefully they do get it. Okay. I see what you guys saying. You married people. Yeah, and that's what I would think, which is why I'm not 100% sold on the fact that he doesn't exist. I think there's a good possibility, but I'm not sold on it. And until it's, proven one way or the other, I'm just gonna stay where I'm at. I'm about 90% sure he doesn't exist, but 10% of it's like, yeah, it's possible. All right. Yeah, next one. We've got a traffic case. This is traffic. We're going to completely change genres. This is Magistrate Braley. And the best part about this one is we've got body cam. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Good morning. Now calling 25W000058A, B, and C. These are the Township of Ypsilanti versus Alicia Perry. Can I get appearances for the record, please, starting with the deputies?
Yes, Your Honor. Deputy Thomas Robb.
Deputy Alex Elves.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Perry?
I lied to you guys. It's not body cam, it's cruiser cam. It's a traffic ticket, so it's what she did. So she's fighting the ticket, and they have the actual dash cam of her breaking the law. So I always find these funny. I absolutely didn't do that. Oh, well, here's the video of you absolutely doing it. It's always funny watching what people say after that.
Can you unmute, please? Turn on your camera and identify yourself for the record.
Hold on a minute. Okay, hello? Alicia Perry.
Okay, thank you. Your camera isn't working, I take it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, thank you. So today is the date and time set for informal hearings in these matters. What I have here is a citation from January 11th, 2025 that charges that on or about that date, Ms. Perry, you operated a motor vehicle on Hewitt Road at or near Ellsworth Road with no proof of insurance. That is the A citation. The B citation is for failing to stop leaving an alley or a private drive. And the C citation is for failing to signal. So those are all part of the same ticket that you received January 11th, 2025. So before we get started, to the deputies, was there anything that you wanted to say?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd just like to note that at the time of the stop.
Wait, hold up. Okay, so when I ask that question, generally, if you're going to make an offer, that's what I'm asking for. Okay, if you're going to get into the details of what happened, then give us a minute first. Okay.
Sounds good, Your Honor. I have nothing to note then.
Okay, thank you. So, Ms. Perry, you have three basic options when it comes to each one of these citations. All right. So you can accept responsibility. That is, admit that you had no proof of insurance, admit that you failed to stop and leaving a driveway, admit that you failed to signal. Basically, pay the ticket. You can accept responsibility with an explanation for one or any of these. So the court can take into consideration any mitigating factors and potentially lessen or eliminate the fine, not the points. The court does not control the points. That is solely the Secretary of State. Finally, you can deny responsibility. That is, you can deny one or any of these, at which point we will proceed to an informal hearing. I will swear in both sides, take testimony, and make a decision based on preponderance of the evidence, which is a 49% to 51% standard. So Do you understand your three options?
Yes.
Okay. So, in regards to the A ticket, no proof of insurance, which of those options would you like to go with?
That's true. So I'll be paying that ticket.
Okay. In regards to the B citation, failing to stop when leaving a driveway or alley, what would you like to do out of
That's
those
the
three
ticket that I don't. That's the ticket that I don't understand.
Okay.
If
So,
I were not had to stop, I would have hit them.
okay, well, okay. So before we start talking about, okay, before
That's
we,
why I'm confused.
okay. Before we start going into what happened, I need to know if you're denying responsibility for that, then I have to swear everybody in, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna deny. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm denying that one.
Okay. And then for the C ticket, that's the failure to
And the
signal.
signal.
Okay.
Yep.
You're denying
That one
responsibility
too.
for those two. Okay. So
Mhm.
everybody raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief? Deputy Robb?
I do.
Deputy Phillips?
I do.
Ms. Perry?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. So the way that this is going to work is this. Deputy Phillips and Deputy Robb are the officers in charge of issuing the citations. So basically, they're the plaintiff. They're going to go first. I'm going to ask them to tell their side of things. If they have any evidence or anything that they want to present, they will do that. You are not to interrupt them. When they are done, it will be your turn to present your side of what.
I did not ask any of those questions. I did not want to take up his time. While he was answering the questions, he did say, no, yeah, when he made the comment about we didn't want her to talk, we didn't want the hearing to last 20 to 30 minutes. He said he was already there for 2 hours. So I was like, all right, you're right. I'm taking up a lot of your time. Thank you so much for answering my question. And I just left it at that. So I didn't go into it further with him. I was just happy that he not only acknowledged me, but answered the question. He was very polite. He was a nice guy.
Happened. Okay. If you have any evidence or witnesses or anything that you want to present, that's your opportunity. They are not to interrupt you either. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you don't have any questions, then we will get started. To the deputies, and you can get started.
Your Honor, do you want me to only recount the facts related to the?
Don't be giving away my secrets. I don't want you guys to know what I'm attempting to work on right now. I'm trying to get a hold of two different people of two different cases that I've recently covered. So I mean I'm not pressuring them, but I sent out feelers. If they never respond, they never respond. I'm not going to try to pressure them. Kind of like the Haley thing. I was not trying to pressure them to come on stream, but I did invite them, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So we will see.
One portion of failing to stop exiting a private drive, or to recount the entirety of my observations leading up to the stop?
You can recount the entirety of your observations leading up to the stop.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Your Honor. On January 11th, around 5:46 p.m., Deputy Phillips and I were on patrol on Hewitt Road near Ellsworth. We were driving southbound, approaching Ellsworth, and I observed a black or dark-colored GMC Yukon bearing Michigan plate 8NZB52 that was later found to be being driven by Miss Perry. Turn the radio down. I apologize. We're going to turn the radio down so it doesn't cover what I'm saying.
Thank you.
As we were driving southbound on Hewitt approaching Ellsworth, I observed that dark-colored Yukon driving very quickly, approaching the intersection. I initially thought the vehicle was going to blow the red light, but it did come to a stop. And that is why the vehicle caught my attention in the first
Wait,
place.
hold up. Stop. Just a second. We lost our audio. Thank you.
Starting.
Got it? Okay. Okay. So they,
No. 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 Thanks for the super chat though, but no. No. I can't even sound that out in my head. I'm not gonna attempt to say that outside my head. And then of course the name that I can't pronounce. Shirzad. But you. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. I appreciate it. You are awesome. Thank you. How's the weather in Egypt today? Hopefully it's nice.
and we just lost her. Okay. Okay, Ms. Perry, you should be able to hear us at this point. If you want to leave your video off, that can help with the connection. Okay. Okay.
I didn't hear anything they said. It left out.
Okay. So I'm stopping your video. Hopefully. Ms. Perry, are you able to hear us? Okay.
Speaking of which, I didn't want to jinx it. It did not happen tonight. Nobody noticed. At least that I saw. I didn't see anybody make a comment about it. But not one internet stoppage at 8:46 did not happen. Now that I said that, watch it be pushed back 10 minutes. Yep, right, Rich?
Gentlemen, we may end up rescheduling this since she wants to have an informal hearing and she's obviously having connection issues.
Sounds good, Your Honor.
I don't know that I would go that far, Deputy. Give her another minute, see if she comes back again, and then otherwise I'll just have our clerks send her a new notice. Okay.
Yeah, it was 8:28 for a week. And then I called them, they did something like manually restarted it from their end, and all it did was pushed it back 8 minutes. So it went from 8:28, no, pushed it back about 20 minutes because it went from 8:28 to 8:46. But it did not happen tonight.
I just sent you a prompt asking you to unmute. Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. I turned your camera off. Sometimes that helps with the connection.
Okay.
Okay. So the deputies were just getting started.
Okay.
Okay. Did you hear any of what they said?
I just heard the beginning. Didn't hear anything, but
Okay.
the starting of it.
Okay. So I'll have them start again from the top. What I'm going to say is this, though. If you drop off one more time, then we're going to adjourn this. Okay. So that it'll probably be a week or so. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So hopefully you're someplace with a better connection. Okay. Deputy Rob, can you take it from the top, please?
Yes, Your Honor. On January 11th, 2025, around 5:46 p.m., Deputy Phillips and I were conducting proactive patrols on Hewitt Road. We were driving southbound towards Ellsworth. As we approached the intersection, I observed a black or dark in color GMC Yukon that was bearing license plate 82 and was later found to be being driven by Miss Perry. As we approached the intersection, I observed the Yukon driving eastbound on Ellsworth, coming up to the intersection. The Yukon had a red light and it was driving very quickly. It looked like it was going to blow the red light, but it ended up stopping, and that was why the vehicle caught my attention. We continued driving south on Hewitt and pulled into the Speedway gas station at Hewitt and Michigan. I pulled around the lot and stopped at the exit, the Speedway gas station exit onto Michigan. And I observed that same Yukon pulling around from Hewitt onto Michigan and then pull into the Speedway lot right past my patrol car. And I observed that the vehicle did not utilize a turn signal when it was pulling into the Speedway. We drove out of the Speedway and went around the block. As we were coming down another side street towards Hewitt, I then observed the same Yukon exiting the Speedway lot, and it failed to stop when it was exiting the lot back onto Hewitt. And at this point in my testimony, I have my dash camera video pulled up on the computer next to me, and I can show that to the court if you would like, Your Honor.
Okay, yes, please.
I apologize, I can't share a screen, so hopefully the video quality is sufficient here. Here we go. All right, so this is the view from our patrol car looking towards Ellsworth on a side street, and the Speedway gas station parking lot is right there. And that dark colored vehicle is the Yukon exiting the lot.
Are you able to play that again?
No, they're gonna play it again, but remember what the driver said. If she would have stopped, she would have. What did she say? She would have ran into somebody. She couldn't stop. She said she couldn't stop or something like that. I don't even remember now. I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep. I'm tired. Let's finish this up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Good night, Terry.
Ms. Perry, were you able to see that?
Yeah, I was able to see that. I was able to see the car that was in front of me didn't have a turn signal on either. No turn signals. I was followed by them. Like, this don't make no sense. I'm gonna explain my story when it's my turn, but just as well as that vehicle that pulled out in front before me, they had no turn signal and they did not stop. There's no stop sign right there to stop at. So
Okay. Okay. To the deputies, did you have anything else that you wanted to say?
I can complete my testimony for how the remainder of the stop went as well, if you'd like, Your Honor. But that covers the 2 citations that Ms. Perry was contesting.
Okay, then that should suffice for now. Ms. Perry?
yes.
Okay. So you can proceed with your testimony, ma'am.
Okay, so I came from Popeye's Chicken. I made a right turn. I was doing a speed limit up to the red light. I stopped at the red light. It was the way I stopped was the problem. I was already in the turning lane. There was no traffic in front of me or on the side of me. I stopped. They went through their light. Once their light turned green, I made a right turn. And the way that the passenger was looking at my vehicle, I knew it was a problem or it was going to be a problem. So when I had went to turn onto Michigan Ave to get on the highway, because I live in Belleville, I seen that they had pulled into Speedway and they were like waiting for me to turn and keep straight to get on the highway and pull me over regardless. So I seen them. I ended up turning into the Speedway. My husband had got out. And I had got back in. Well, he got back in, and then I pulled out, making a left onto Hewitt, got in the turn lane, and then that's when they had, like, they were waiting for me. And then they got behind me in the turning lane and followed me down Ellsworth and then pulled me over. So the stopping, I stopped. The turn and signal, I didn't know that you have to have a turn and signal on in already a turning lane. And then coming out of the speedway, they were already on me before we got to speedway. And then, like I said, the other vehicle, if that's the case, why didn't they pull them over for the same thing that they're giving me a citation for? I'm confused. And then when they pulled me over, I asked him, like, who are they looking for? Because it was like they were so worried about who was in my truck. Like, my truck is custom. Everything is black, black tint, black rims. Like, I felt like they were, like, looking for somebody. And, you know, like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Was there anything else that you wanted to say?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Come on, please keep talking. You're entertaining. Nothing you said is anywhere close to a defense, but a defense. But yeah, keep talking. You're fun.
Thank you. Give me just a moment, please.
You turned on a dash cam.
Yeah, she absolutely wasn't ready for that dash cam. You heard that hot mic moment. They put on the dash cam. Yeah, they came prepared. They're not lying. You had that option. You failed.
Follow-up question for the deputies about the failing to signal. Was that turning into the speedway or turning out of? That you were
Turning into the speedway, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So the court is ready to make a decision on the B and C citations. Starting with the C citation, that is the failure to signal or observe. Ms. Perry, I will note so that you are aware. This is the Michigan compiled laws 257.648 do require you when you're making a turn to use a turn signal. It doesn't say anything about not having to when you're in a turning lane, so that is something to keep in mind for the future. In this instance, I am not going to find you responsible for the failing to signal. Okay, so the C ticket is being dismissed. The B ticket, however, that is Michigan compiled law 257.652. And that very clearly states that if you are about to enter or cross a highway from an alley, private road, or driveway, you have to come to a full stop before entering the highway. So in that instance, I am finding you responsible. The citation there is a $130 fine. And regarding the no proof of insurance citation, there is a $155 fine associated with that. So,
You know, Jedi, if you say that multiple times in a row, people are going to run away from you. They're going to think Jaws is coming after you. I got jokes. I got jokes. All right. So she dismissed the turn signal, and she, the magistrate found her responsible for the not stopping. And she probably cut her that break just because this lady has an attitude. She probably didn't want to get yelled at. Or she just trying to be nice. I don't know. But the turn signal, yeah, it didn't look like it impacted anything. There wasn't any the car. The only other car besides the officer was the car in front of her, and she was in a turn lane. Like that's still a dumb defense though. I didn't know I couldn't do that. Come on, that's not gonna work. I didn't know I couldn't do that. The speed limit's 70. I thought it was a suggestion. I didn't know I couldn't drive 100. That's not gonna work. All right, I'm gonna catch up with these, and then I'm gonna let it play out tonight, guys. There's still about a minute left. It's almost over. And then I'm gonna look for someone to raid. But let's see. Sparkle Poots, lullaby and good night. May the angels delight. Thank you so much, Sparkle Poots. I appreciate it. And Artie Foz, thank you. Foot and mouth fee. Sorry again, mods. I have no idea what you said, but I do want to say this. Very important message to all the viewers out there. If you say something that a mod removes, don't take it personal, and don't think the mod has anything against you. I gave the mods a list of rules of what I want in the chat and what I don't want in the chat. So all they're doing is following what I said, and everyone says dumb things at times that, might not be that dumb, but their job is to make sure my videos don't get in trouble by YouTube. That's all. So if they remove one of your comments or say something to you, warning, that's them talking on my behalf. So if you want to get mad at someone, you feel free to yell at me, but don't take it out on the mods. They work their asses off for me. So, and yeah, I don't pay them enough. So be kind to the mods. They're awesome. They work really hard. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna let the rest of this play out, and I'm gonna go raid somebody. I don't know who we're gonna raid. It's 9 o'clock. It might be Lone Wolf. It's probably gonna be Lone Wolf because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who else is gonna be on Tuesday night. But if it's not Lone Wolf, I will pause it at the very end and tell you where we're going. But as of now, it is Lone Wolf. You guys are awesome. Giant shout out to all the members from last night that donated to the gas fund to make the trip happen today. I very much appreciate you guys. You are awesome. And thank you all. Thank you, Biggin, again for the raid. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Until next time, bye.
How much time do you think you need to pay those off?
I'll say 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay. Then if it isn't paid off within 2 weeks, you'll get a notice of hearing for a new court date so we can check in to see what's going on. Okay.
Okay.
But aside from that, the hearing is concluded and everyone is free to sign out of Zoom.